So, good evening YouTube, and welcome back to my channel. Well, when I say welcome back to my channel, I mean welcome to my car. Just noticed the weather today has changed. Woke up this morning and it was a horrible, miserable winter's day, and we're in the start of summer. The wind was blowing, the rain was lashing against the window, and I was like, oh, this is just crap. Anyway, fast forward to late afternoon, and I've noticed that the skies are starting to clear, and there's an opportunity for me tonight to photograph the moon. Now, some of you will know, who know me personally, know that I really enjoy photographing the moon. I spend a lot of time in the back garden with a cup of tea photographing the moon at every opportunity I get. And this has got me thinking. I have a Sigma 150 to 600mm contemporary lens, which is for a Canon fit, and that's what I normally use on a full frame camera to photograph the moon, and that produces really good results. I'm very pleased with it. But as you know, with anything to do with astrophotography or lunar photography, you always want a bit more reach, you always want a bit more focal length. So I put my mind to it, and I thought, well, how can I get a bit more focal length to photograph the moon? And I came up with the idea is, could I actually use a ×2 teleconverter? And then I thought, can I use two lots of ×2 teleconverters and somehow manage to mangle them together to take a 600mm lens to 2400mm? And yes, you can, and that's exactly what I've done. But I still want more reach. I'm obviously overcompensating, but I want more reach on that moon. So I recently acquired a Pentax Q-S1, which is a tiny point and shoot camera produced by Pentax back in, I think it was the Q series was back in 2010, and the Q-S1, which was like the flagship last camera they did, was done in 2014. And it is a 12 megapixel point and shoot, mirrorless, but it has a crop factor of 4.65. So if you were to take a 600mm lens and then times that by 4, that will give you 2400mm. If you then times that by 4.65, you see where I'm going with this, that will give you an effective focal length, if it was on full frame of course, of 11,040mm. Now, I found a way to adapt that lens, those two teleconverters, onto the Pentax Q-S1, and that is what I'm going to do tonight. So why am I getting so excited about the Pentax Q-S1 and its crop factor of 4.65? Well, let me explain with the power of a diagram. The big green dashed box represents the field of view of the full moon when using a 600mm lens on a full frame camera. As you can see, it enframes the entirety of the moon with lots of space around it. This is how you would see it. The smaller boxes show the field of view with the same 600mm lens if you swapped out the full frame camera for the Pentax Q-S1. Because of the Q-S1's small sensor and crop factor, the apparent focal length of the same lens used changes. So, with just a Pentax Q-S1 and a lens at 600mm, which is equivalent to 2790mm, the blue box shows you just how much of the moon you would see. Stick on a single ×2 teleconverter, and that's the orange box. You're now at an effective 5580mm focal length. If you add on yet another ×2 teleconverter, then you'll get to see what's in the red box. 11,160mm equivalent focal length, insane zoom. This really shows how extreme the crop can get, and just how much magnification you can achieve with this kind of setup. Now I've explained the advantage of the Pentax Q-S1's crop factor, it's now time to put all this theory into practice. So I've headed out into the country to a location that has an unobstructed view of the moon. I've got the setting sun in my face directly in front of me, and yeah, behind me, obviously following the sun, is the moon. Now, the moon is currently in its first quarter, which for me, I think is the most interesting lunar phase you can get. I see a lot of shots of from photographers who shoot the full moon. And yeah, don't get me wrong, the full moon, an easy one to photograph because it's so bright. But yeah, unfortunately, it's just a flat disc reflecting sunlight, and all of the detail on the moon is lost because there's simply no shadows. So when you come to the quarter phases of the moon, that's when you get the most directional light from the sun casting across the moon's surface, and all of the craters and the ridges of the craters then catch that sunlight and project shadows across the lunar surface. One of the other key advantages of the first quarter moon phase is you have what's called the terminator line, where the light can't bend round the curvature of the moon, and that gives even more detail right on the last fading edge of that light. And yeah, some of the ridges and the mountain ranges, I think you would even call them, are just absolutely phenomenal to look at. So I'm going to get set up, get my composition sorted, and then see if I can start showing you the component parts to my Frankenstein monster lens. And yeah, I hope you like. So catch you in a second. So the first part of tonight's setup is the Sigma Contemporary 150 to 600mm lens, affectionately referred to as the Moon Bazooka by the late and great Alan Wallace. And yeah, I'm going to take his idea and take it to the extreme. So we'll get this lens on the mount first. First part I need to put on is going to be the Canon x2 extender. So this will basically take the 150 to 600mm lens and double it in focal length. So that 150 now becomes 300, and that 600 on the long end now becomes 1200. On top of that, I'm now going to mount a second extender. This is another x2 extender. This now takes what was the 300mm at the short end to 600, and the 1200 at the long end now to 2400mm. So already we're doubling up the focal length this lens can produce. The next step onto this is the adapter for the Pentax Q-S1, which just slots onto there. And then the final part of this is the actual camera itself, and I'll quickly show you that. Give me a second. So this is the mighty Pentax Q-S1, a 12 megapixel mirrorless camera produced in 2014. It has one of the world's smallest sensors. I don't know. It's a 1/1.7 inch sensor. The key benefits of this little camera for me, for tonight, is it has a crop factor of 4.65. So that will take the 2400mm on the long end of 600mm all the way up to 11,040mm. What a great little camera. And there we are. So that's the setup in the shortest configuration. If I extend this out to 600mm, so that's now, from there to there, is now an 11,040mm focal length. It's all manual focus. There's no electronic communication from the lens to this camera. I've got to manually focus it in. And now I've got to try and find the moon. And it's just up there, and it's gone into a bit of cloud. I wasn't expecting that, but it is what it is. It's just a case of waiting out really now, waiting for those clouds to move on. The moon itself will transit the sky, it will follow the sun, so it'll go westwards, and as it does, it will slowly come down lower and lower and lower. And I hope during that period of time that I'll be able to get this set up, focused, and get some shots of the moon at 11,040mm. One of the key things to do when you're shooting at such extreme focal lengths is start at the shortest focal length you've got. And in my case, this is 600mm. Right, now I'm going to try and get the moon in focus. So it's up there, a bit of gymnastics because you've got to bend down and see. It's a case of just lining it up. Ah, got it. I think that's it. Right. Now, in case of trying to get focus. So guys, I've got my I've got my composition sign. I'm so excited. I've got my moon in the frame, focused in on the Pentax Q-S1. I'm going to quickly show you now, but just take a look at this. Look at that. So that's the moon. If you just watch, look how quickly it's transiting across the frame. And like I said, this is at the minimum magnification as well. It's pretty impressive, I think. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to get a couple of shots of that at the minimum magnification, and then I'm going to zoom in all the way to the 600mm and take this to the extreme, an absolutely ridiculous extreme of 11,040mm focal length. And hopefully we'll get the moon in good focus. So guys, that's the first shot done, the first composition. I've got my moon, yes, really chuffed, really happy with it. Now I'm going to take this little setup to the extreme. I'm going to push it all the way up to the 600mm length, focal length on the lens, regain the composition, get the subject in focus again, and then I will show you exactly what you can see, if anything, I don't know, I'm hoping you can, but what you can see at 11,000mm. And let's now zoom in all the way to 600mm. Oh, wow. Oh, wow. Okay, let's see if we can get this in focus. Let that settle. I'm gonna have to get that shot first because you won't believe it. Oh, stay still, stay still. Don't move. No wind, no wind, no. Oh, crap. We've got a bit of motion blur because the wind's blown. Oh no. Right. So we're on a 10-second timer. Right, everything's settling. But the moon, it's zooming across the screen like this. Oh, it's so close. Every time I get close to that shot, that wind blows just a little bit. And because the field of view is so narrow, that moon is just racing across the front of that sensor. Oh, get in. That is absolutely phenomenal. Wow. Okay, so let me get this set back up, because time I get you guys off there, off the tripod to here, it will have moved. Right, there we are, we're good. There we are, folks. That is the moon as seen from rural Worcestershire, and all of the light pollution and everything in all the atmosphere. That is the moon transiting a 1/1.7 sensor on a Pentax Q-S1 to 11,040mm. And you can see the clouds racing past the moon. That's what's giving that shadow. But can you see the detail? I hope you can. I hope you guys can see this on here. But that is absolutely insane. That is all the way up there. Unbelievable. Almost emotional. Sorry guys, I'm not crying because of emotion. So I am suffering from a little bit of hay fever at the same token. So yeah, amazing. How about that? Who would have thought you could mount a 150 to 600 mm telephoto lens, adapt it twice with 2 teleconverters, and then adapt the mount to a Pentax Q mount and get it to work. Get the little Pentax Q camera and its tiny little sensor to see the surface of the moon that far away. This is just fantastic. I can't believe this. Right guys, as you can see, I am quite excited about this because, and I don't get excited about much, but I am just blown away that this was even possible. Right, what I'm going to do is the light is fading. It looks quite bright to you guys here, but it is getting quite dark. So I'm going to make the most of this now. I'm going to try and capture a few more shots of the moon at different focal lengths. I will see if I can, yeah, I'll put those images up for you guys to take a look at. I'm also, obviously this little mirrorless camera also has a nice little video function as well. I mean, it's not brilliant. I mean, it's Pentax. Pentax don't do video cameras, you know. Well, they do video, but you can't really call it that. It's a Pentax thing. We all know this. The video is fine, but it does 1080p on this. I'm going to do full HD video of the moon, see if I can get it in frame, see if I can get it coming across the frame, you know, like that. Should be quite nice at that stupid resolution. Sorry, that stupid focal length. Wish me luck. Let's hope the wind stays down and we don't get too much vibration, because, you know, it's every time the wind goes, the screen's shaking like this. So I think I've got the focus perfect, but I'm gonna, yeah, fine tune it, give it a go, and yeah, I'll be back with you shortly. So guys, that's a bit of a shame. The cloud has come in from nowhere. It was kind of forecast, to be honest with you. So yeah, no sooner I'd done that last piece to camera, that was probably around about half an hour ago. And literally as I finished talking to you guys and I span around to do some more shots at 600mm and, you know, and do a bit of video, the clouds has completely come in and covered over the moon. It's a real shame, isn't it? I was really hopeful I'd be able to get some additional footage for you guys and some more images. I think I'm just going to have to wait. I haven't got anything planned for tonight. I've got a bit of time. That cloud is quite thick. I mean, it's completely obscured the moon. I can't see it at all. There is, however, and I'm keeping my fingers crossed, there is a clear patch, and the cloud is coming towards me. Yeah, I'm just hoping that it eventually clears and we just get that bit of clear air with that moon coming down into it. But yeah, I'm gonna just persevere, but there's no point showing you nothing. So hopefully next time you see me, I will be focusing on that moon and getting you some additional shots. So guys, yes, the sky has cleared, the clouds are out the way, I can see the moon again, absolutely brilliant. Problem is, it's getting bloody dark. So I've had to put my LED light on to the camera. I hope I'm not overexposed. Rarely ever use this, so fingers crossed this is going to work. So I'm going to do my gymnastics, get into position again. Let's have a look, see if we can get this lined up with the moon. And oh, there it is. Right. So that's looking rather nice. Just want to get the vertical around about there. Tighten that down just slightly. So what I'm having to do here is I'm positioning the frame with the expectation of where the moon is going to drift into. Because it's constantly moving, I can't say, right, I want that spot of the moon to photograph, because I line up with it, and time the vibration settles down, the moon's moved. So I've got to try and position the camera where I think my subject or my area of focus is going to drift into, and then just hope that the timing is right, and then also that I don't get any wind or additional vibration. But at this magnification, it's yeah, it's a bit of it's just chance, really, I think. Let's see.
I'm really looking to try and do is I'm trying to capture some of those craters and the shadows on the craters. And more importantly as well, if I can capture that terminator line down the side of the moon, that's where all of the detail is, and that will look really nice. Yeah, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to get a few shots of this. Hopefully some of these will come out sharp. Like I said, I'm shooting, there's a bit of a wind, and I am shooting a subject which is a long way away through a lot of atmosphere, and that atmosphere is unstable, so that makes the moon itself almost wobble a little bit. And it really is just micro adjustments. Every time I touch this lens or camera, every time, even if me breathing on it causes it to shake. This looks really good. I don't know. Just don't know until we get home and check it on the back of the computer. So guys, thank you very much for joining me tonight on this little video of mine. Apologise if I'm a little bit excited, but I don't know, photographing the moon does that to me. It's one of the very few things in life which I get really passionate and excited about when it comes to photography. Photographing the moon for me is one of those little luxuries in life, and it's accessible to anyone because the moon can be seen from all over the world. And so, you know, I do get quite excited about it because I think it's an absolute pleasure to look up into the night sky and see the moon, and to wonder how it's there, why it's there, and how many other people have lived and seen it. You know, not to go too deep on this, but there's quite a deep philosophical questions about the moon, which I will never have the answers for, but it does make me wonder and it does make me ponder. I am hearing sounds of large cats, and again, the UK's got a problem with large cats apparently. I am in the middle of a field. Anyway, no, I'm not going to spook myself. I'm going to get on with finishing this video. So I hope you've enjoyed this little video. I hope the images and the video I've recorded of the moon are satisfactory for the absolute ridiculousness of the camera setup I'm using. I hope you appreciate my madness, and yeah, thank you for joining me. If you'd like to give me a like and subscribe, that'd be great. Up here will be another video of me doing some astrophotography down the day mark in Kingswyn, and that was really enjoyable, and I photographed the Milky Way and the Milky Way core, so I hope you enjoyed that one. Thanks so much for joining me, and look after your loved ones, and I'll see you on the next one. See you soon. Bye.